Today we're talking about why endocrine disruptors are so dangerous. I had to talk about endocrine disruptors again because I recently had a personal experience with one. I saw a picture of a before and after where someone was using a lotion and it really decreased the appearance of wrinkles. And I'm a side sleeper, and so I have wrinkles right above my breasts, right on my chest. And so I can't wear certain clothes comfortably because I'm self-conscious about it. And so I decided to try this lotion, and it was supposedly from a clean company, but I did not do my research. I just trusted that it was clean, and my breasts started hurting, and they hurt straight for probably 6 to 8 weeks. My periods went to every 20 days, and then I started skipping periods. So I was basically going into perimenopause. And I don't think anyone who just randomly tried this lotion would experience this, but since I had gotten toxins and hormone disruptors out of my house 8 years ago, my body really recognized it right away and was like, hey, hello, pay attention to me. This is hurting me. You're hurting us. Please stop using this lotion. And so it took me really a while to figure out that, because I am in my mid 40s, so maybe I'm just going into perimenopause, and I'm honestly not even sure what made me think about it. Probably something that I was in my class and talking about hormone disruptors, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if there's hormone disruptors in this new lotion I've been trying. And I did the research, and I'm going to talk about that at the end, but there were several hormone disruptors in there. And so I threw it away. And I started taking phytoestrogen to help my body balance out estrogen and progesterone and testosterone again. And I started drinking a lot of citrus so I could start to cleanse my body. And within probably 2 weeks, my breast didn't hurt anymore. And eventually, I'm not sure exactly how long, my periods are back to the 28-day, 26 to 30-day cycle. And so I feel very confident that that was a hormone disruptor, that was an endocrine disruptor, and that it was putting me into early menopause. And so when I have so many friends that are struggling to get pregnant, struggling to keep pregnancies, talking about all the symptoms that are horrible when they're going into perimenopause and menopause, I'm going to talk about some other symptoms, but when you think about your family, are they having these symptoms? Could it be as simple as getting these endocrine disruptors out of the house? And I think the answer is yes. It could definitely is going to help a bunch, and it could like really get rid of all those problems that you were thinking about. Not all the problems, but most of those problems. You'll see when I talk about the symptoms. Sorry, y'all, this really upset me. Like, I'm upset with myself for using a lotion I didn't trust. I'm upset with what I did with the body. I'm upset that there are companies that say that they're clean when they're not. Whew. So let's talk about endocrine disruptors. According to the Endocrine Society, endocrine disruptors are chemicals or mixtures of chemicals that interfere with the way the body's hormones work. Some endocrine disruptors act like hormone mimics. So they mimic a hormone. Plastic actually mimics estrogen. So getting plastic out of the home, we shouldn't be drinking water out of plastic. We shouldn't be reheating plastic in the microwave because our body thinks that is estrogen. Other endocrine disruptors block natural hormones from doing their job. And then the third type increase or decrease the level of hormones in our blood by affecting how the hormones are made, broken down, or stored in the body. So they can even kind of change how sensitive we are to different hormones. They can disrupt many, many, many different types of hormones, which is why they're linked to so many adverse human health outcomes, including, and this is not an extensive or exhaustive list, but here are some of the symptoms. It can hurt our sperm quality and affect fertility. It can cause abnormalities in sex organs, endometriosis. It can create early puberty, altered nervous system function, immune function. It can cause certain cancers, respiratory problems, metabolic issues. A lot of times people are struggling to lose weight, and I see that. And I think if they took those endocrine disruptors out of the house, they would see that weight come off a lot easier. It can lead to diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular problems, neurological and learning disabilities, including ADHD, and more. So that's true that sometimes ADHD is a reaction to endocrine or hormone disruptors within the house. And so many people are putting their children on medication, no judgment, but I would probably start with taking all those endocrine disruptors out of the house and looking at the food that we're eating. So we can find endocrine disruptors in sunscreen, cosmetics, our skincare, and cleaning products. And I don't want you to beat yourself up. And I know that I'm doing that to myself, but I'm hoping I'm not passing that on to you. I want you to kind of think about, okay, I heard Jessica. We are struggling with ADHD and endometriosis, and I'm struggling to get pregnant, or I'm feeling the effects of perimenopause, and I'm going to try this. This is the time where I'm going to start doing better, kind of know better, do better. And what a gift to yourself. What a gift to your children. What a gift to your grandchildren that they aren't brought up with endocrine disruptors within their home. Now, I know that it's not easy to find a company that you trust. I'm back in school to become a board certified naturopathic doctor. And one of our lectures this week, they actually talked about that a company is allowed to put all natural on the label and be 70% synthetic. And those synthetics can be harmful, but they're allowed just to put all natural on the label. So the lotion that I used from this company, they said that they use clean ingredients. So I decided to dive into the ingredients one by one. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm going to go through a few. So one of them, and I'm not going to say any of these correctly, polyacrylamide, I'll put it in the notes so that you can read it, is made up of repeating molecules of acrylamide. Anyway, I'll put it in the notes so you can read it, which is strongly suspected carcinogen and has been linked to mammary tumors as well as endocrine disruptors for the thyroid gland. I was putting that on my body. Whew, okay. I'm not going to say it correctly, y'all. I'm sorry. Tocopheryl acetate is linked to affecting the endocrine system and especially affects the breast tissue. 2 in a row that affect the breast tissue, and my breast started hurting for about 6 weeks. Disodium EDTA studies show broad systemic effects on the brain, the nervous system at low doses, and endocrine disruption and reproductive effects at high doses. Goodness gracious, I cannot believe I was putting that on my body. I'm trying not to beat myself up. I'm trying to know better, do better. And I trust doTERRA, and I've been with them for 9 years, and I've been the healthiest I've ever been, even healthier than my 20s, healthier than my 30s. I honestly think my 50s, I'm going to feel better than my 20s. And I don't know a lot about other companies because I've found this company that I trust. I do think there are a couple of companies that are owned by celebrities that really seem committed to safety. Their products are quite expensive. And why help a celebrity when you can help a friend? So my suggestion is that when you run out of a product, replace it with one that's safe. My suggestion, unless you just are like, yes, I'm done. I'm throwing all this away and I'm getting safe products. If you're in a place, especially with hormones, when you can't get pregnant or your daughter has endometriosis or you're struggling with perimenopause, you might be at a place where you're like, I'm throwing all this away and starting with safe products. I think that's perfectly fine, but I think it's also perfectly fine to throw away things as they run out so that you're not causing stress and undue financial stress on yourself. So either of those will work. And then remember with doTERRA, you can get 30% back. So for every $100 you spend, you get $30 back to spend on future orders. Y'all, it's the best deal in town. It's safe, it's delivered right to your door. You're getting a rebate and it's already well priced. So if you have any questions about this, please reach out. I'm like quite passionate about this, especially recently since I just had a really tough time and I have so many friends that are at one of the spectrum trying to get pregnant and not able to keep the pregnancies or going to perimenopause when they're in their mid 40s like I am and are having serious symptoms from it, like painful, frustrating symptoms from it, and it could just be the endocrine disruptors. Please subscribe or follow. Let me know if I can do anything to help you, and I will see you next time.